What's going on, guys? I've got a 2007 Dodge Charger here, and I'm going to use this car to point out to you the location of the 3 fuses and the 2 relays for the operation of your front windshield wipers. So it starts back here. There's a fuse box underneath this cover here in the trunk. We're going to lift this up and we're going to remove the cover by pushing in on this tab here and hinging this cover back. There are 2 fuses back here. The first one I'll point out to you is a 5-amp fuse, and it provides power to what Dodge calls the rain sensor. So it's this one right here. So you can pop that out, check to see if it's good. And another even more important fuse is this 10-amp fuse here. This provides power for use with the switch. So if this fuse is bad, then that entire wiper switch won't work. So check that out. And that's what a good fuse looks like. You can see it's got that neat U-shaped piece in there. It's not broken. So I'll reinstall that. Now we're gonna head under the hood. This is where you'll find the main wiper fuse, as well as the 2 relays that control when the wipers come on. And we lift up this tab here, hinge this back. Your main fuse for your windshield wiper is this 30-amp J-case fuse. These fuses are cool because you can just look down through the cover on the top and see if they're blown or not. If you want to remove it, just grab it with needle nose, wiggle it from side to side while you pull up. And sometimes when you remove these fuses, the plastic piece breaks off. Not really a big deal. Now there's 2 relays for us to look at. There's the wiper on-off relay and the wiper high-low relay. My favorite way to troubleshoot these relays is to have the wipers turned on and I just tap on them. Sometimes relays can get stuck, and tapping on the relay or wiggling it a little bit can cause it to come back on. So if you wiggle the relay or tap on the relay and the wipers start working again, you'll just want to go and replace that relay. Now after that, my next move for troubleshooting is to remove the relays, and I can swap in these other rectangular relays. These are all the same part number. So if I swap these in and then the system starts working, then I know probably the relay was the issue, and you'll want to go and replace it. Now after that, we've got to go a little more specific on how the system's wired. You'll note I've got these pins all color coded so I can go over how it works. It all starts with the 30-amp fuse. This provides power to these 3 red pins. So you should have power at all 3 of these pins if that fuse is good. When you turn the wipers on, it starts with the on-off relay. The computer enables this relay by sending a ground to this pin. So if you never do see a ground at this pin, then there may be an issue with the switch or the control module. When this relay receives the ground here, it energizes, taking power from this pin and sending it into this pin. The power coming in through this circuit then goes on to your high-low relay. The power comes in from here to here, and the relay is going to send that power here by default. This pin goes on to the wiper motor, and when power is sent on this pin, the wiper motor will come on at a low speed. When the computer desires high-speed operation, it leaves this relay on, and it also enables this relay by sending a ground on this pin. When this relay receives the ground here, instead of sending the power here, it instead sends it to here. This also goes to the wiper motor. So you can provide your own power to either of these pins, and it should result in the wiper coming on, assuming that the wiper motor is in good condition and that the wiring is good. Let's go take a look at the wiring of the wiper motor. So the wiper motor itself is underneath this cowl, actually right here. And to get to it, you've got to remove a bunch of clips, little plastic clips, to where you can lift this up. I can't show you that, unfortunately, because someone came and already broke all these clips out. But there's the wiper motor right there. It's got a little computer driver built into it. And you disconnect it by pushing in on a tab here and lifting back on the connector. The tab on this connector broke prior to filming. So we've got this pulled back. And what I like to do, if I have another wiper motor available, I'll just plug this whole thing into a different wiper motor and see if that wiper motor works. I'd certainly do that before going through the trouble of installing a whole new wiper motor in this system here. But let's look at the wiring. You've got a black blue wire here This provides a constant ground. You've got a tiny little skinny wire here, a brown gray wire. It's the smallest of the 4 wires. That wire communicates to the module, and it basically is a way of the motor letting the module know when the wipers are in the down position or the parked position. These 2 wires both go to the high-low relay. They both go to those orange pins I was pointing out. This top one, the brown-red wire, when this gets energized, the wiper should be at a low speed. And when the brown-white wire gets energized, the wiper should operate at a high speed. One other troubleshooting step I like to do, especially if I can hear that the wiper motor's coming on, pop the cover off and see if this nut is rotating. Sometimes this nut will be spinning when the wipers are on, but the whole arm will be stationary. That can happen if your wiper arm gets stripped. Sometimes you can tighten this back down and get it to work again. And you'll want to do the same for this one. This is just something that I do if I hear the wiper doing something, but maybe only one arm is moving. So yeah, a few things for you to check. I hope all this information was helpful for you. Please do let me know if you have any questions, or more importantly, if you have any advice for troubleshooting the windshield wipers on your Dodge Charger.